You're listening to the podcast called What No One Knows. I'm your host, Lisa Marie Garcia. Please join us as I talk with some of the most important influencers, from entrepreneurs to C-suites to founders to venture capitalists. You will want to know their answer to the question, what no one knows. Thank you for joining. Okay, thank you for listening. This is Lisa Marie Garcia, and I'm here in the Tampa Bay Wave offices at Wave Studio One for the Vodcast that you're watching or listening to called What No One Knows. So today we have in studio Michael Gaenzler, who, hopefully I got that right, who is a current mentor advisor with the Tampa Bay Wave. We met together being mentor advisors. So I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. That's exciting.
It is exciting because we're going to have a great conversation. So thank you. I want to start off, just jump in here about how much I love your company's name, The Profit Engineer. So great name. You actually have a great tagline, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. So you have to keep listening to hear that. But just tell us about your company, The Profit Engineer, and what you mean by that.
So I started out, my last corporate gig was restructuring, and there everything is about profitability. And when I reflected, what do I do next? How do I use my experience and my expertise? I came up with this name. And your profit engineer is kind of a wordplay. So I always say I'm a profit engineer, and if you hire me, I'm your profit engineer. So that was kind of my tagline that I used in many networking events. But I shifted my focus a little bit and pushed the profit a little bit into the background or into the future, because I focused more on the startups. And we all know they have a tough time getting to profitability. But I always have the profitability in mind and have the right tools to get them there.
Very good. So we're going to talk about your experience with the startups and with the Wave, and there's some other startup groups that you work with. But just to kind of stay back on your business for a moment, what would you say is one of the primary obstacles that you see when you're working with maybe not just startups, but with companies, to have them be profitable? Is there a mindset? Is there a stigma? Is there something big that it's like, and they don't see? I mean, I don't know your space at all, but could you kind of enlighten me?
I mean, if you have this profitability mindset, you look at everything different. You look at, how much money does it cost? How does it impact my bottom line? What does it do to my top line? And then you make a decision. And it's not easy in larger corporations, because you have a lot of costs that are there, and you don't really know what the contribution is of these departments or people. You need to listen and ask a lot of questions to get to the bottom of it, and then you have to make some harsh decisions if the contribution is worth the effort. And so if you have this mindset to look at everything, you will find a lot of nuggets that you can explore and you can build on. And I have one specialty where I really work with larger companies. That's the after sales business. And for a lot of companies, after sales is like an afterthought. But if you build some technical components or technical machinery, after sales is everything. Because you make your money in the aftermarket, because you have a lifetime value that's 3 times the initial purchase, and you can guarantee repeat business. So if you do it right, you have a profitable future. Unfortunately, after sales is an afterthought, and many companies don't do it right.
So define for me, because I was trying to decipher what after sales mean. What exactly does that mean?
So you
What do you describe?
buy an expensive equipment like a machine, and the machine has to run for 20 years. So for your business, it's important that the machine runs. For the company that sold the machine, it's important that they provide excellent service so they can benefit from all the repairs, from all the spare parts, from modernizations, upgrades, updates, and they keep the relationship. Because typically you could sell the machine and forget, and then somebody else would do the service. And then 20 years later, they come and, oh, we need a new machine. But then you have no connections, no contacts, no nothing, and you don't get, you have to work like a newbie. If you do it right and you keep the connections and you deliver excellent service, you have a much better position to sell the next machine than all your competitors.
Okay, so you're describing you've landed a client, right? In another scenario, right? You've landed the client, you do the work for them, but you don't keep cultivating that relationship. You don't keep feeding it. It's not a positive experience. And yeah, the next time they're like in our business, we publish books, their second book, they're not going to publish with us. If we had that relationship, then it's almost a no-brainer that they will. So, okay, thanks for clarifying that. I wasn't
You're
sure.
part of the family. If you're part of the family,
right,
you will automatically be the first thought.
I love that. We call it the family team. I mean, in a great positive environment, right? With your clients, you're a family team. The team we get, the family part is that you have a vested interest in the results that you need to get for your client. I agree. I love that.
And you know your client better than anybody else. So you know the people, you know who to talk to, and every time you go there for some upgrade, you learn more, and you have like a head start to anybody else.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, I can see that you're great with the Your Profit Engineer company. Let's talk about your Wave, what you share and how you helped some of the mentors and your role here. And really, actually, let's also talk about you work with Techstars. You know, just in general, why do you like to do that, and what do you love to provide?
So after my corporate career, I thought, where is my passion? And I spent like 6 years working with startups in the Silicon Valley out of the corporate world. And I saw the energy and the passion and the will to change the world. And when you live in corporate or you work in corporate, you feel a lot of resistance to change. So change is something that's like an art. If you manage change well, you be successful. If you don't manage it well, it will kill you. So if you have this love for change and you want to change the world, there's no better place than with the startups, because they live off change.
Yes.
So they bring the passion, and in corporate you always hear the word no, this is not going to work. You will never hear this from the startup. They say, okay, yes, how high do I need to jump? There is a different energy level, and it's actually rejuvenating. After 34 years in corporate, you think, oh, I've seen everything. No, you haven't. You will, every day I see new ideas, new startups. And for me, it's kind of a mental fitness program, because I spend an hour with them to kind of assess if the founder is worth supporting, if the idea is working, if the startup has a chance, if the market is right, the why you, why now, why what's important. And if you get this right and you have this energy to analyze it quickly, you can already contribute. Like after 30 minutes, you can give advice. And I discovered that this is my superpower. I'm very good at that. So I enjoy getting into the head of the founder, helping him to sort out their ideas, because they have a lot of ideas, but they're alone in this. So they need a sparring partner. And if you have a good sparring partner, you can go far. It's also in corporate. You need like a mentor or something to go far. I had to walk all the distance alone. And I sometimes think back and I said, where would I be if I would have had the right mentor? And so I'm in the giving back phase of my career. And my son told me, Dad, I don't think you're ever going to retire. And he's right, because this inspires me. So no retirement for me, but I can slow down a little bit.
Yes. And retirement can also, doing what you love to do, and then whether that's business or business and personal and recreation and all of that. So, well, I'm so happy that you're a Wave mentor, and I agree with you on so much of what you said. I mean, there's an energy about it, and from the startups, and it is a changing world. So of course, it's a changing landscape, and business is changing. What we don't know, even though we've been, have had long careers, we don't know what we don't know, right? And by being around the startups and the cohorts that they call them here at the Tampa Bay Wave, it's incredible, their ideas and the creativity, and where, like you said, they only say yes, like 1,000 yeses. It's great. So thanks for sharing that. So what would you say is the unique part of the Wave versus your experience with Techstars? Are you still working with Techstars also?
Yes.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit and just share a little bit specifically about the Wave and how they handle their accelerator?
So the main difference that I see from all the other programs, they have a financial interest. So they take in their startups and they give money, but they also demand equity.
Yes.
The Tampa Bay Wave is unique. You get excellent support. You have a cohort, a group of like-minded entrepreneurs that work in the same industry, and they infuse each other. So they develop friendships, collaboration, and I follow them after the cohort is finished and the last final pitch night. I see their success, and I see that they support each other, which is very unique. This is it feels like being part of a family, and my contribution is supporting them on their journey. But now was the first time that I actually invited somebody in, and I helped them to prepare to get in, and he is part of the next cohort. So
congratulations. It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
Right?
I thought, I prepared him well, and then he's like, I don't know, I haven't heard back. And then finally, I'm in. I said, and finally I meet him in person because he was from Colombia. So we all did everything virtual.
Right. Well, and so speaking of that, you're very global. You are a global entrepreneur, founder, professional. You said that also you've got the dual citizenship. I was reading about that, American and German, right? Yes. And but you have clients globally. How long have you worked in the global marketplace? Has it been many years now? Many?
When I started already, my first job was global.
Okay.
So I was always in a global setting. So I feel at ease with talking to different nationalities, and I don't speak a lot of languages. I mean, I manage two, and I understand a third, but it's not the language. It's how you relate to the people. If you're open and you listen, and you kind of feel their needs and understand what they need to be successful. And sometimes it's some easy things. Sometimes you have to dig a little harder and deeper and to get it. But in the end, if you can help them sort out their journey, it's awesome.
Well, and that help and that what the goals are probably very similar. It's just in a different continent, but maybe in some ways.
There's also cultural differences. I had one startup that I mentored in my Emerge Americas mentoring. They had a ride-sharing service for students because it's so dangerous to take a taxi or to go alone it was in Colombia. So they had a rideshare service, so they could pick each other up and help each other out going to the same locations. And I had no idea that it was so dangerous. So I was like, okay, why can't they just take an Uber? So they explain the whole setup and that the girls don't take taxis, and when they go to university, they rather group together, and one has to drives, and they do this ride sharing together. So it was interesting for me to learn.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I was thinking about my daughter. So my youngest daughter just is now in college, and she would like one of those services just to get her from building to building, because she's like, that's a 15-minute walk, that's a 20-minute walk, and all that. So, but thank goodness we don't have to worry about too much about those kind of safety issues. All right, yeah. No, I appreciate what you shared for the Wave. Definitely unique, and that family team and just what they provide that's unique with the not-for-profit and how they benefit the cohorts, which the cohorts don't pay either for the program. It's pretty rock star. I agree. So share in your experience, is there something that you help when you're working with your clients that you help share that is something that you learned through your experience that they might not be in a position to learn yet, that you're kind of, saying, I'm just might let you know that XYZ could be an issue for you because I've experienced it.
Yeah, it's more about your team. And we all have expectations, and we expect others to do what we think is the right thing. And one thing I really learned is if you want to have your founding team working well together, you need to lay out the expectations beforehand. So, meaning, what do I expect from you? And what do you expect from me? So if this is clear from the beginning, there is no misconception. There's no, okay, I thought you would do this. You're not carrying your load. And most startups, they actually struggle because of their team. And so when you pick your co-founder, you have to be very clear about this, what the expectations are, and also what the percentages are. So you don't want a 50-50 situation where it's a stalemate, and that
you can't ever be 50-50.
Yeah. So you need to put a lot of thought into it. And I just work with one startup that I've been helping for almost 2 years now. And was a solo founder, and now he's bringing in people. And we spent a lot of time discussing what kind of percentages he should give out. And I really emphasize this expectations that they have to bring to the table. They're all sweat equity people. So they have this is their side hustle. So they have a main hustle, and how much time should they spend, and what are the deliverables? So make it clear, and then you have less trouble in it's like a divorce when it breaks up. So and I had one other startup where they had to, one of the founding members, they couldn't do it anymore with him. He was always, I was as on the advisory board, and all the meetings, I was like, why did I sign up for this? And then he left, and they had to kind of struggle to pay him out.
Right. But it was probably better. It was much better. It was a different team. It was a different company.
After that, the company moved like a rock star.
Yeah. always comes down to the people. You
It's
could
the
just
people.
do it, right?
Yeah.
But it's, get the right people on the bus, get the right people off the bus, fire your clients that, don't take all money. I mean, all of that. And I've learned all those lessons the hard way,
Yep.
of course. And, but then there's the other side. And I was thinking about this just maybe even yesterday, but then I'm still that person, and I don't want to change that. I will give someone a chance and maybe two chances. I try to stay there. But, and also try to have empathy to understand from where they're coming from. But at the end of the day, though, for the business, I mean, your eyes are kept on the value of your company, your mission statement, and the revenue. I mean, I might love a person so much, but if they are costing me money because they are not doing their job, or if the profit margin is going way down because of all the labor in it, I can love that person, but they don't have to be in our company, and sometimes that's a lesson you have to learn the hard way to really get it.
I learned
But
that.
yeah.
I had one lady in my department, and she was a rock star on stage. So you give her a microphone, she was excellent. But she also had the apple was shiny on one side and the other side was rotten. So she took a lot of liberties, and when she went on business trips, it was not really business.
Right.
So we saw her Facebook posting about a lacrosse championship or World Cup in Hong Kong, while she was supposed to be at the Auto China in Beijing. So I was like, I had to let her go.
And why, and then again, why are you posting, why would you even do that? That's like the criminal that robs a bank and leaves his wallet there on the counter. I mean, why, if you're going to be dishonest, why are you letting everyone know? I don't know.
I think it was also a mentality thing, but a cultural thing, actually.
Okay.
Because some cultures that evolved from a different background, they still have this, they know how to work the system.
Yeah.
And they're not used to this straightforward. And in Germany, everything is very straightforward, and there's a lot of rules, and you play by the rules. But she was not from Germany, so.
Well, and there are people that I call them, they play in the gray.
Yep.
And I, there are things in our world that are black or white.
Yep.
I mean, there are not, not everything, but there are things that are black and white, and the people that play in the gray, they're making their own gray so that whatever, I mean, that's the people factor. So, no, great advice. And especially as you're talking about, with startups and with these cohorts in the wave, typically it's co-founder, maybe a partnership of co-founders. And then as they build and grow, then they're bringing in this person and that person. And so that's such a critical decision, like we're talking about, and I've been in the stage in my business, and I learned again the hard way of hiring because I just needed to fill the spot totally the wrong way to do it, and doesn't pay off in the end. You don't save yourself any time because you filled the spot. You cost yourself more because you got the wrong person, but I had to learn that. So it's great that you give that advice at there, take the time, slow down, and all the vetting questionnaires and the tests per time. I mean, there's so much now that you can do, so much more than when I was building my team way back when. So, all right, well, I knew we were going to run out of time to talk about more things. So I'm going to hit you with my question of the podcast. So the podcast is called What No One Knows, because I would sit across from people in the first stages of my book publishing company where they'd say, I'm going to tell you something that no one knows. I want to write this book about what no one knows. So let me ask you that question. What does no one know about you, Michael?
Well, we have a trilingual family. So we speak 3 languages at the table every day, every time. So we have Swedish, German, and English. And we have 3 citizenship. My wife only has 1. She's kind of the odd one out, but we have this culture. But we have a 4th citizenship at our table, sitting in under the table. That's our dog, Larry the Beagle. He is from Switzerland, and he is a mountain dog in Florida. So That's the unknown factor.
The unknown, the other
Swiss
member of your
bark.
family. This was a Swiss bark. There you go. You are good on the taglines. And actually, we didn't even talk about the tagline I loved, which you call yourself the one-man incubator. And a few of us were talking about it here. We love that tagline. So just, we have a minute left. So just tell us what that means, the one-man incubator.
So when you're kind of when you want to have a business with a lot of fun and a lot of connections, but you don't want to hire a lot of people. So you grow your business and you feel the pain, but you want to stay one man. So you stay, build a network around you. And I call it the network of friends. So I have all the expertise that I don't have, I have in my friendship circle. So I'm the one-man incubator, and when I come to the limit of my incubation, I reach into my network and I pull in the expert. So
Network of friends.
the
Awesome.
network of friends. Yeah.
Well, I want to be in your network of friends after talking to you and knowing you, and I appreciate you being here and sharing what you have. And in the show notes, we'll make sure that everyone knows how to connect with you and how to reach out and be benefit of your wisdom. So thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to our show, What No One Knows. If you'd like more information regarding our guests, it's in the description below, as well as if you'd like to work with our publishing and promotion team, that you can also find in the links. Thank you.